Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the Red Corner, and welcome to Volume 2 of the Trade Deadline Strategy Series. Fellas, we are exactly 1 week from the July 31st trade deadline. So, the last volume 1 of this series, we laid the foundation down, right, guys? The main takeaways we all agreed on were number one, we need another right handed bat, or at least a better bat than what we have right now in the outfield. And we also agree we probably need two or three bullpen arms, right? So I'm going to start this volume here with a question for you. I have a list of things that have happened since volume 1 of this series. And I want you guys to take however you want to take it and what thing is the most impactful. And then we'll talk about them all after that. So, number one, that the Phillies have signed David Robinson, bullpen help. Two, Dave Dombrowski's comments on Justin Crawford, a.k.a. that he's probably going to stay in the minors one way or the other until the deadline, right? Number three, Alec Boehm got injured. Number four, Kemp's what I'll call progress. And number five, Kepler continuing to struggle. I'm going to start with you on this one, Bones.
Dombrowski talking about Crawford.
Okay.
Because the reason being is we talked about it before about maybe losing value if he comes up, kind of like I think Abel did.
Mm-hmm.
Keep here, and if he does bad, what happens? If they get rid of him, because he's really down a mile. He's on like a double-digit hitting. He's hitting homers in the last week. He's had a couple. So really maximizing his value so we can get something bigger in return.
Right.
So that's why I think he's a big piece right now because don't trade him. He's up game one against the White Sox on August 1st, next Friday.
And I go ahead, Slim.
No, 100%. I don't think he's being traded whatsoever. I think he's going to be up right after the deadline. He's going to be your starting probably center fielder. With potentially he might be as good as Rojas on defense. I'm not sure. We'll see soon. But with the idea of Rojas being a defensive replacement, either in left field, right field, uh, Crawford's going to be, if we're going to win a World Series, he's going to be a contributor. I don't think he's getting traded at all. I think he's off the trading block because of his impact, the quick avenue he has. He's basically an addition right now for us, and we can feel good about it because we've, like you said, Kemp is hitting the ball pretty well. So to me, that says that he was just seeing this. He was just in the same lineup as Crawford, and Crawford's doing the same exact stuff that Kemp. I mean, without the power, but still making contact, getting on base. It's been consistent. It's been all year. Crawford's been doing this. It's not like the last month. It's been from start to finish. He's been doing this. So I don't think he's getting traded. I think he's going to be starting for the Phillies as soon as the deadline has passed. And I think we should be feeling pretty good about it. And then I know I touched on Crawford, I touched on Kemp a little bit, and then
Yeah.
the third thing is correcting the mistake with Kepler and cutting him because Bob Nightingale said Minnesota Twins were laughing at us when we signed him for $10 million. Said they knew it was going to be disaster. It's been a disaster. Let's cut ties there.
A disaster it has been. So, guys, I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate, a little bit of also like maybe common sense test here. So, I guess the $1 million question would be if we agree that Crawford is going to be the starting center fielder, which is very exciting to hear both you guys say that. Why would he not just be brought up right now then? We need the help in the outfield. So the counter being, is this just us, as we've alluded to in the past, kind of protecting him from losing stock?
I don't think we're protecting him anymore. I think the only reason he's not up right now is because they're going to wait to see. When we bring Crawford up, is he going to be playing center field? Is he going to be playing left field? Where he's playing and his role might be dictated on what we get back. That's all.
Yeah, and Bones, I'll let you respond, but I guess what I'm saying is, and I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying loud and clear. If we were to have Crawford up between, I'm going to say 2 weeks ago and August 1st, right? That would have been a month of potentially better production out there, one way or the other. And then if we bring in a better big leaguer in the trade and he has to go back down, which I don't think they would have done, he's still playing every day, right? So I guess what I'm confused about is, why would we not just want to be reaping some of the benefits from him at the big league if we're not trying to protect him one way or the other? Bones, what are your thoughts on that?
The reason is that they don't want to bring him up, like, because if they can get a package of, say, a reliever and an outfield bat that is worth trading for, like in a package with, say, another top prospect, then they'll do that as long as they have control of these guys. And there's been different instances where like these rumors came up. But I think they got to be really overwhelmed with that deal for him to be going in this trade. Like in a trade, like I said, he'll be up on the first against the White Sox.
And I honestly just think they didn't bring him up because you still would have had some cloudiness with Rojas, with Marsh, even with Kepler being there. So get rid of these guys, bring them up, say you're going to be the left field, you're going to be center field. This is your role. You're good to go. There's no, you don't want it. Like I said, you don't. I said I think like a month or so ago, not just talking about Kepler, but talking about the other moodiness of our vets. You don't want
Yeah.
to bring it. You don't want to bring a young guy up here and have him catch those moody vibes. So I don't even want Kepler and Crawford ever to be in the same room together. So let's get rid of that guy first, and then we can bring this young stud up. That's how I would look at it. I don't want anything weird in there. Especially like this guy's going to make. It's just too much. And even here's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to see it with Kepler being moody. You can designate him for assignment, but we know Marsh is a locker room guy. He's someone Bryce Harper likes. He's someone a lot of these guys like. And if he comes up, he tries. His numbers still aren't great. He has 25 RBIs, like only 3 home runs, batting about 240. I don't know what his doubles are like for Marsh. But if Crawford comes up and gets all the playing time, then what's Marsh's role? So we might have 2 vets, one who's liked in the locker room, one who's a crybaby in the locker room, and you might not want to be juggling those dynamics and worrying about Crawford coming up. And Topper doesn't seem like a guy who gets involved in those dynamics. He kind of lets the locker room play itself out.
All right, so you hit on a big one there, Slim, that I was going to touch on. So obviously the internet has been piling on Kepler, DFA, DFA, DFA. So so give me a percentage. What percentage do you guys honestly think he's getting DFA'd? And
if he's not traded, it has to be 100%.
Okay.
It has to be 100%. Like, how can you keep this guy on the team unless, like, he calls a team meeting and gets these guys Rolexes and says, "Guys, now's the time I'm changing." I know and he got paid. It's just not a good look. And I'm starting to wonder what happened in Minnesota, that we're getting rumors that they were so confident that he was going to have another disaster season. It's just weird.
Well, he stunk last year. That's what happened.
Okay,
yeah. So, Bones, what's your percentage? You 100 as well?
Yeah, I agree with Chris. I think he's done so.
So on August 7th, he's not going to be on the team. So I'm here. I go. I'm going to check that off my list here. Then
July 31st, he's on the team.
July 31st, he's not on the team.
Yeah.
Okay. Exciting. That's exciting stuff. So Kepler's behind us. So we don't want to waste any more time on that. But let's talk about the next thing that's very impactful.
One more week, boys. One more week.
Kepler's behind us. But let's talk about David Robertson. So in volume 1 of this series, we said we want 1 to 3 bullpen arms. So we got 1 already. We didn't have to trade anything. All 3 of us are kind of in the camp of creative. We'll take them. It's better than what we have. Despite the fact that actually our bullpen's somewhat, I'll say, stabilizing. So where do you think this fits into our actual strategy, and how many more arms do you think we're going to get? I'll start with you on this one, Slim.
I think we're going to get 2 more arms. I think one's going to
Okay.
be in-house, and I think one's going to come via trade. I think that when it comes to the trust tree, I put
Yeah.
Robertson right up in the top 5 of my trust tree right now. My trust tree looks like basically Kirkering, Lazard, Banks, Robertson, and Strom. They would be my top 5, I think. So those are dudes I'm confident in handling anywhere between the 7th to the 9th inning. I think Robertson probably gets a save or 2 before the season's over. The Phillies have I don't think they have like anyone above double-digit saves, and we have like a bunch of guys with like 3 to 5 saves or something along those lines. Obviously, because of Alvarado, and
Right.
that's the other little weird nook we have happening because Alvarado's going to come back. He's going to be the cream of the crop, but then he's not going to have a playoff spot. So that's another little. How do you use that part?
It's funky.
And when you bring in a guy like Robertson, he might be able to work off that. Okay, I know my role isn't now. They're going to go to the better player with Alvarado, but these are situations that maybe if not me, these younger guys we're going to be watching because it's going to be us in there in the postseason, not Alvarado. So guys, when he's in there, let's all huddle up and watch it. Right, Lazard,
Hmm.
Banks, whoever these young bucks are. Maybe Robertson can be a little bit of a mentor.
Oh, for sure. That's part of the reason he's here. Bones, how many arms do you think we're going to get in addition to Robertson?
So I think they're just going to get the one arm. Like,
Okay.
really wanted another lefty in there, especially like a power arm. But
Hmm.
I don't think with the way the market's going, I don't think you're going to see that. One guy we were looking at was Aroldis Chapman,
Oh yeah.
and now Boston's back in the thick of things here for wild card and even division in the AL East. So they're not selling at this point. So I just think it's going to be a right-hand bullpen piece, and like Chris said, they're going to use it as Alvarado coming back, being that left-handed piece, because the bullpen really has been well. I got a stat here: Kirkering, Tanner Banks, Matt Strom, Max Lazard, 2.74 ERA with 93 strikeouts in ninth.
They've
And
been great, man. They've been great.
And outside of Lazar's extra innings game against the Red Sox in that third game of that series, he's been pretty well, and I'm pretty confident in him going out there. Just ghost runner on there. There's really nothing you can do with that. It's the dumbest rule in sports, I think.
No, the Ghost Runner.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
are out of your mind. The Ghost Runner is legit one of the best rules in
No, it's
sports.
not. That's
It's
not
one of the best.
baseball.
We're not going to get into it right now. It's one of the best rules in sports. Okay, one of the
In
best rules in sports.
sports, it,
In
it, it,
sports,
it goes past baseball.
in sports, Slims in sports books watching baseball with dudes who are watching baseball. And we all love the Ghost Runner.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like we think we're going to be getting an additional 1 to 2 arms. I'm in agreement there. So let's check the box on the final thing here, right? Let's talk about Otto Kemp a little bit. So this is an interesting dynamic, right? So let's bundle these last 2 topics together. I'm going to call it the Otto Kemp and Bohm injury. How do those 2 factor in to our trade deadline strategy? Now, for me, I'm going to kind of lead with my opinion on the Kemp. I personally think Kemp is house money. I don't think he gets viewed or factored into trade deadline strategy at all. That's no disrespect to Otto. I just think we've been happy with what he's given us. I don't think he gets factored into the strategy at all. What do you guys think about that?
I don't think Kemp's going to be getting moved at all. There's no way. He's he's cheap. He's under control. And then as other teams view him, he's positionless still. So other teams would have to find, oh, we think he's this or we think he's that, and then this is how he fits in our system. So he's kind of like he's going to be a weird fit to get rid of if you're a team looking to acquire. I'm not sure anyone's looking to acquire Kemp. I think Kemp's a good player. I think he's obviously a hitter. I don't want to get ahead of the conversation, but same thing with Bohm. I know he's been mentioned in trade rumors since the end of last year.
Yeah.
And frankly, I don't think he's going to be getting up. I would have to get refreshed. Bones refreshed me on the IL trading. When would he have to come off it to be able to get traded? Is he even eligible to be traded? Yada, yada, yada. But with that being said, I don't think Bone's going to be getting traded. I think we view him, again, better than the rest of the league views him. I think we think his defense is better than what the rest of the league views him. We think his bat's better. I think I'm talking about the Phillies organization.
Sure.
They think he's, for the most part, I think, a great player. I mean, will they listen to offers? I think so. But I don't think he's going anywhere because he's also kind of cheap, and he kind of has, like we talked about all
Yeah.
season now, he has a very clear role in this team. He's a contact guy. He swings through the hitter's zone, and yeah, he has a clear role. So I think
Interesting.
Kemp's going to be here. I think Boom's going to be here, and even the guy on second base, I think, is going to stay here. I think we're going to be trading prospects if we're going to be getting a haul.
So you took that in a little different direction than I was going to go, but I'm glad you did because I want to also touch on some of that. But Bones, where are you at on the Kemp stuff?
So I think once Bone comes off the L, obviously he's the third baseman, and
Right.
like Chris was saying, like I don't think it's just the Phillies that value his defense now. I think it's around the league. He's been one of the top third baseman defenders in the league. Like I don't like going through it. I can name you 5 that are better than him. Like if he's top, you know what I mean. Defensive wise, he's really come about, and that's good for the Phillies long term if they're going to keep him around. But factors in with Kepler not being on the squad.
Right.
Kemp will be the left fielder, like in a blue situation with Marsh. Like once that all goes together, because his average is what, like 250, I think it was like 255, but
That's
he's
right.
putting contact on the ball, and he knows the game. Like if he's got to get the ball to the outfield, he's going to get to the outfield. If he's got to move the guy over,
Yep.
whether it's bunting or the way baseball should be played.
Yeah.
Who? So this is the question, because I love Kemp in left field. I like him more than Marsh, but that lends itself to the defensive substitution late in games when we get, especially late in the season. You're going to have Crawford in there. We're going to have Rojas in there for defense. If we do it like that, if we start Kemp, it's crazy. We're starting 2 Iron Pigs in our playoff run. If we're starting Kemp and we're starting Crawford in the outfield, and then we substitute Rojas defensively, maybe put him in center, and then Crawford over to left late in games. What's the role for Marsh? And then here's the other question, because again, I think it's going to be kind of hard to trade Marsh because of those locker room things. Because he does put in the work, man. He does. If you think he stinks or not, he came back up from the mine or whatever from his little injury rehab. He's playing better. But again, what's his role in the team? And then if
Marsh's role?
Yeah. If in the scenario
Marsh's role is to start in left fielder.
Did you? Well, you just said Kemp, dude. Did you listen to anything?
No, I said he's going to platoon with Marsh.
Did you listen to anything I just said?
So
yeah, Rojas isn't starting. Rojas isn't playing baseball.
So you just showed yourself not listening, brother. I said we're going to go Kemp, and then we can go Crawford in center, and then late in games we're going to put Rojas in for defensive substitution for Kemp. Right? It's not going to be Marsh. Marsh isn't going to be a guy who's going to be getting defensive substitution. A platoon with Kemp and Marsh in left field is not going to work come the playoff times. That's not going to be the move. So the question is, we're going to have most of the time Marsh on the bench doing nothing, or we trade him. And if we don't trade him, who's the guy on the roster that we package? Because I think we're going to be trading Aiden Miller. So who's the dude in the big leagues right now that we can package with Aiden Miller to get an actual return? There's not going to be no Marsh platoon come September, Bones.
So, Slim, you just said a lot, and the last thing you just said is the thing I agree with the most. Not that I disagree with everything you just said. Number one, the entire point of my Kemp question was kind of leaning towards, I don't think Kemp's going to be in the equation at all. When I say at all, I don't mean like, I think he's going to be a spot start, right-handed, late game, pinch hit situation guy. I think if he's on the team, that's where he's at. I think there's a greater than 60% chance that Brandon Marsh gets traded. That's where I'm at. I've been there. Volume 1, I'm going to back it up with Volume 2. Why do I think that? Number 1, like we all been calling for Crawford all year, right? So if we trade for an extra outfielder, we're going to plug one of them in the left field. We're going to plug one of them in the center field. I think Crawford goes to center, and I think to get that left fielder or center fielder that we traded for, Marsh is in that deal. That's what I think. I think that solves a lot of the problems. It gets you the classic everyday platoon situation solved a little bit. Kemp, I think, is out of the equation altogether. That's where I'm at on that. So
I think Kemp showed he can hit a little bit, but with the left field thing, there's zero chance it's going to be Marsh. I'm there with you for sure. I don't think we're going to be having a platoon. It depends on who the X factor is, the unknown variable who we get. Are we getting a left fielder? Are we getting a first baseman? Are we getting a DH? Because we could get a DH and put Kyle Schwarber in left field. People forget, and you guys reminded me, Bones. We went to the World Series with Schwarber and Castellanos in the corners, and then that sounds a lot better. So let me run this back because now I'm thinking out loud. Instead of having Kemp out there, we get a DH who can crank homers, maybe Suarez, right? That's a name, but someone who is powerful. We can put Schwarber in left field, and then we can do that defensive substitution with Rojas and Crawford I was talking about. And now Kemp and Marsh are both out the equation. Is that better, Bones? I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah, I don't like Rojas was never in my equation. That stinks. And
He's going to
Marsh
play.
would be. I don't think Marsh is that far off of a defensive player than Rojas is, especially if you move the field where he's not covering as much ground.
Oh, I
that
even
he
think
needs
that
to.
Marsh has some really dumb plays. I think he makes some dumb plays out in center field sometimes. I don't trust him at all in center field. I do think
Johan Rojas.
I think we're going to be seeing Rojas as a defensive substitution 100%.
So, boys, is it a good time to transition to some of these rumors, right? So it's funny because we were kind of going a lot of back and forth there, and basically what we just did was we identified the holes, right? Because since we can't agree on exactly who's going where, then that's basically saying we got some holes. So let's talk about some of the ways that these holes are going to get filled, right? So let's kind of section this into two categories: bats and then arms. Since we were just talking about bats, let's go right into the bats, right? So out of all the different articles, rumors, you name it, for the trade deadline, the Phillies have been getting linked to a lot of people. Jeff Passan did his top 50. I counted, I think in the top 10 players, the Phillies are linked to like 7 of them. So it's a very exciting year for the Phillies right now. So, Bones, I'm going to start with you on this one, Bones. And basically, what I want you to tell me is, out of all the rumors out there, which one do you kind of put the most stock into for an outfield move for us?
Everything's pointing to a guy I want the least, and that's Cedric Mullins.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's not how I thought you were going to say.
Yeah. I just don't think if you go to the Cleveland Guardians, they're not going to be making a deal. They think they're in this thing. They're only 2.5 games behind, from a wild card spot, and they won like their last like 11 or something like that. Baltimore seems like the only team out of it in the AL East. You go to the Central. I don't want no part of Luis Robert. Byron Buxton keeps on saying he's not getting traded.
That
He's
stinks.
got his no trade clause, which Byron Buxton's the guy for the last couple of years. Everybody was like, we should get him. I think he's in, but he's the guy they need right now. He's healthy this year, and he's top 5 in the American League in MVP voting, according to people. So he would definitely be a guy I want. Just everything's to them going after a big bullpen arm rather than the bat that we all want.
So, Bones, excuse me, Slim, are you in agreement on that last point he just made?
I'm actually kicking around my head now, and Oh man. I'm afraid I really don't know because
Yeah,
I don't want them over selling for a bullpen arm. Dombrowski is in a terrible position due to his offseason moves. Bringing in Corky Romano didn't work. Not bringing back Hoffman. Not bringing back Estevez. Um, but with that being said, I think Bones is actually wrong. I still think I lean with the bat being way more important because I like our pitching coach. I think there's a chance they try to
I agree
develop.
with that.
I think these guys are going to try to develop Lazard or Banks. Probably, I think Lazard might be a little bit better than Banks. I'm not sure, um, but into maybe what Hoffman was for us. I think Banks and Lazard are kind of like competing for that role, and then we'll have Robinson and stuff coming. So I think the corner outfield or the power bat or the right-handed bat, I should say, not the outfield, the right-handed bat to prioritize. I'm going to stay in Baltimore, like Bones said. We're not. And Bones, we're not going to worry about defense, and I'm worried that we'll get Cedric Mullins. I would be down to do a 2-for-1, maybe a 3-for-1, but I want to get Ryan O'Hearn. We can play him in the corner outfield. We could DH him. All right. He could also play first base. I know that makes it crowded, but you saw I played out the worst case scenario situation is Schwarber in left field with a late defensive substitution. O'Hearn made the All-Star game this year. He's young. He's powerful. He would absolutely crank homers out the bank. You could see him fitting in with this lineup pretty beautifully. So what could we do a deal where we get O'Hearn, Mullen, and Sir Anthony? Is there something out there where we can get a three bagger? Because what's Baltimore doing? They're not doing nothing, man.
Not
So
much.
it might be something. Aiden Miller isn't as young as you think. I think he's 21, 22. I know we're saying Trey Turner better look over his shoulder because he's going to be the shortstop in a couple years. But now I have him out. I think he's going to be the guy we can move to bring back something nice.
So I like the way you guys answered that, kind of with the most realistic, least sexy answers. So the one I had pegged for that is Ward from the Angels. I feel like he feels like the Phillies move. I think that he's a little bit older. He's also not too old. He's got 1 year control. He doesn't have too many years of control, so I think we can get that with a pretty affordable price, and also he's got some power, which we want from the right-handed side. I think that feels like a very Dombrowski move right now. But let's talk about some of the sexy moves. So Quan, and there's a big rumor that just dropped with O'Neal Cruz today, right? So, Bones, you put any stock in getting any of those names? Too expensive? Where are you at?
Like I said with the Guardians, they feel like they're bad in this thing. I don't think they're going to give up
Right.
a Steven Kwan if they feel like in this thing, and they're not going to be out of it next year by any. Like they're a team that's always going to be in it. They just had
That's
a
true.
a rough go of it here. As far as O'Neal Cruz, he's a good young player, but he just fits too much of the mold that they already have on the team, where low average strikes out a ton.
Yeah.
Like I really don't want any part of it. And there's times where he comes off lackadaisical. Like we've seen, I think we got the one play where his ball was hit to center field and just olayed it. Next thing you know, he's just turning around looking at the right fielder going picking up the ball instead of running after the ball.
Yeah.
It's easy to be lackadaisical though out in Pittsburgh. Um, his batting approach would definitely be an issue, but if you're going with defense being the key, he's a plus 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 on defense. Has a great arm. Um, so that's one thing. Again, if we do get O'Neal Cruz, he's the guy where I hope we can bundle maybe a reliever or two with him on the return. The point with Tyler Ward, I think the Angels are low key in the race. So I don't think they're going to be looking to trade Tyler Ward, Taylor Ward. I think
Mm-hmm.
Ward and the Angels are going to stand pack and maybe even be. I don't think they'll be sellers or buyers, but I don't think they're going to be trading their guys. It's the first time in a while they've been half decent, and they can probably keep selling tickets throughout the season now.
I like that name though,
Oh,
because
for sure, he's awesome. His numbers, we saw him in person, and his batting average is low, but he has the pop, and he's kind of athletic in the outfield, playing left field. He's not as powerful as Schwarber, but his stat line reminds you of Schwarber when we first got Schwarber. Low average, high um, home runs and RBIs.
yeah, like
100%.
right now, as it stands right now, they're 5 games out of the wild card.
Okay, so they're actually dipping a little bit. They were 4.
Next week, that could be a lot worse, and he could become more available.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely true.
And
100% true.
this whole conversation changes. You know,
Yeah.
And maybe we send Marsh back to his old team.
Yep, great point. Yeah, so at this point, we're all cheering against the Angels every day because I think War would be great, no doubt about it.
and the other
Okay.
one,
Go ahead.
there's
Yeah.
another one out there, Joe Adell,
Yes.
Oh my God,
out
I
in the
know.
Angels.
And again, center field too at Pop, man.
Okay, so I think we're in agreement that Quan and Cruz would probably be a tough deal to make. It's going to be expensive, especially with the control and the ages. Now, let's talk briefly because I think a lot of people have him already in Yankee pinstripes. Suarez, third baseman for the Diamondbacks. It's like second in the league in home runs. Guy's got obviously a lot of power. Do you any chance at all you think the Phils land him?
If we land him, I think like I said, I think he plays that DH spot. My understanding is again they're going to be
You
looking
think
for
he'd be a DH?
Yeah, because I don't think you can play him at third base with Boom.
Okay.
Adam said that the rest of the league is now caught on to Boom being a better defender.
Yeah.
I've kind of been seeing that the last couple of years. I think he would have to be a DH here. I would be all for it. And I would have it includes. I don't think he would cost Painter. I don't think he would
Oh
cost.
no, hell no. It's a
No.
rental. He's a
I know.
rental.
I don't think he would cost Crawford, and I don't think he will cost Miller. He's someone we could get for Abel and maybe someone else further down the farm. So he's definitely someone I'm highly interested in.
I like how you're thinking there. Bones, what do you think about that?
I don't think there's any shot that, just because, like Chris said, with Bone being a third base, I don't think they're going to use him
Right.
as a DH. Yankees are going to be all over him because they want to move Jazz Chisholm back to base.
Second base.
They want to
Yep.
move Jazz Chisholm back to second base, be the guy at third. He'd have a field day in that ballpark.
Yes.
And they actually do, like the rumor came out that they want 2, maybe 3 top prospects for him, even as a rental guy at 36 years old or really is.
I think he's like 34 going on 35. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And when they say top prospects, I think what's going to end up happening is they're going to get 5 or 6, just like you see with the NBA with these second round picks. You get these prospects, you're just hoping 1 or 2 eventually get up to the pros, especially for a rental guy. So when they're saying 4 or 5, 4 prospects, I actually think I don't know what the Yankees even have. I feel like the Yankees, if their offer, it's just going to be, oh, here's 6 guys. They all kind of are all right. Maybe one plays out for you. So I think the Phils can have an advantage if we say here's Abel and here is I don't know. What about the young catcher way down the farm system?
Tai.
Yeah, Tai.
Yep. And he just went
Would
up
you do that?
in the top 100. Him and Crawford just switched from 3 to 4.
I saw that.
What do you do? What do you do? Would you do that, Bones? Abel and Tai for the Suarez and let Suarez DH? He's untouchable. Gotcha.
Untouchable for Bones. No, and that's 100. I saw that. I thought of Bones when he's top 100 now, and he's also up into high A already too. So that kid looks like he's very talented. Exciting coming down the line. All right, so we talked about a lot of bats there. Let's briefly touch on some of the arms in the bullpen that we're going to be looking at. I was obviously over in Cleveland, and I saw Clase. He's a stud. He's probably still at the top of our list. We got the Helsleys, Bednars, Batistas, Duran, Fairbanks, Slim. Who do you want, man?
Out of those names, I'd like to name that Bone said a long, long time ago in the division. I like Finnegan. He's won a World Series. He can mentor our young guys as well. So that would be the name I'm looking at. And I think the Nationals absolutely stink. They're absolutely sellers.
Oh, yeah, he's getting moved.
Yeah.
Bones.
So again, I think that Dombrowski's not really going to want to part with these top guys. And the one guy, Batista, just won them the IL today. So
Yup.
that's tough. I think they're going to go after Bednar. He's been pitched awesome. I know it's in Pittsburgh. They're not playing for much out there, but
Mm-hmm.
outside of that first month that he had, he's been pitching awesome out there. So I think it will go. They're going to go after Bednar. I wanted this Clase. I've been saying that for years. A
Clase
couple
will be
years.
expensive. What do you
Yeah.
think about a flyer on Batista given the injury? I don't know. I always see value and stuff like that. And I get excited. So, do you guys think there's any chance in that to kind of
I
going after?
I want it because he's coming off injury already
True. True.
to that arm. So I want to go nowhere near that.
Okay. Yeah.
I think when you're in a seller's market like this, that you almost have to try to one up the sellers and literally ask for their best players. So if we're talking about Suarez, whatever. If you're Dombrowski, not that they're ever going to do it,
Yeah.
but all right, Suarez sounds good. We'll give you Abel. We'll give you the catcher. We'll throw in Miller. And what about you? You ask about that. I can't think of another name, but Carroll. And they're going
Yeah.
to say they're going to say no, but now you're moving the discourse to where it's changing the playing field to where they thought they had the leverage on you, but you're like, no, we're aiming even higher than the guys you're trying to sell.
Right. No, good point. Uh,
It would be
guys.
awesome. Wouldn't it be awesome to just like because we all play fantasy sports and it's the best part. Like like we had trade deadline parties back in our fantasy leagues and stuff. Could you imagine being one of these Dave Dombrowski just like in the like your own little war room with your boys? Like, all right, what are we looking at? Or with your crew? I know the teams are big now. It would be awesome. I get jealous.
It would be. All right, boys. So we just hit on hopefully a lot of names in bats and arms that might be on the Phillies and call it a week. So any closing thoughts on that? Because what viewers, Red Riders, you're still here, hit that subscribe button. We are going to give you one more of these volume 3, hopefully. And then our game plan is to go live on the trade deadline day. If there's a trade that comes up beforehand, we'll go live and we'll react to that. Boys, any closing thoughts? Give me your closing thoughts here. Anything. What do you got for me?
Just next 5 days are crucial.
They
5
are.
games, I should say, because this is going to determine who's in and who's out for the sellers market, buyers or sellers, contenders or pretenders. And there's a couple that are on the fence right now, and they're the ones with the prize pieces. So,
Amen.
And last, I want to mention when the Braves won the World Series, they actually sprayed the board a little bit. They got Solar and a couple outfielders and hitters back. Few of those guys got hot. So I wouldn't be shocked if we sprayed the board a little bit and see multiple names that we weren't expecting return. I say that because if nothing is done and the Mets make a move and we end up on the outside of the division winning, it's going to be problematic for everybody.
Slim, it's funny you mentioned that, and I'll let you get the closing thoughts there, Bones. The unfortunate thing about the Mets is they're going to be fishing in a lot of the same ponds that we are.
Yeah, I know.
So we're going to be bidding with each other. So that's going to make this extra interesting. Bones, got to close it down.
and it's good thing you mentioned that because one pond we're not fishing in is the Dylan Cease market, and apparently he's out there and fishing on that one. But if they go after him, that puts Dombrowski in a spot where I think he has to go bat or a big bullpen piece or both
Right.
together, like where he has that big splash, and he's probably going to have to overpay.
Really good point. All right, Red Riders, stay tuned for Volume 3 and July 31st. We'll be going live for a long period of time. Talk to you soon. Go Phils.